So you've probably heard of this term before. If you're in any online money-making space or in any self-help community or just watched content online, you probably know the term SMMA. And it stands for Social Media Marketing Agency, if you didn't know. And I am in the space, and I kind of wanted to give my thoughts on the entire space. Well, not necessarily give my thoughts in this video actually, but in terms of, I wanted to break down two differences that there may be a lot of misconceptions in the agency and service space in the online self-help money community, because a lot of people kind of just use this as a fancy buzzword. It has become a buzzword, just like dropshipping's become a buzzword. So I kind of wanted to explain what I've learned about SMMA, about the service space, the service-based business space online, and then dive into the two differences between the misconception, and then kind of where I'm going forward, what I've learned a lot of the theory side about growing and scaling any business, but in my case a service-based marketing agency, and then how you can scale your own as well based on just what I've learned so far as I have been planning and working on. And then basically what your first steps can be, like my first steps are right now in kind of growing a big business for the future. So to begin with, I just want to clear up the misconception of what an SMMA actually is. So like I said, an SMMA is simply a social media marketing agency. And a lot of people might think that marketing agency is just running Facebook ads, just running TikTok ads, just running video editing, content. Like a lot of people have these buzzwords for all these different things, but ultimately any kind of marketing agency, this pen is not going to work, it's going to keep going on me, isn't it? Any type of marketing agency, right? Marketing ultimately is just the entire process of identifying your customer, basically. That is all marketing is. Marketing is a very broad term for advertising itself. It's even part of sales. Sales is even part of marketing. It's basically identifying your customers and then telling them about your product or service in some way through promotions or through trying to influence word of mouth. It's the entire process from understanding who your customer is to then getting them in the door or on your website and then becoming a customer. The entire process is marketing. Advertising is then print, digital, leaflets, Facebook ads, organic, social media content, photos, videos, GIFs, whatever it might be. That's the advertising side of it, the actual physical promotion or digital promotion. So a marketing agency, that's why there's a difference between marketing agencies and advertising agencies. A marketing agency might just basically become your entire marketing department, just like my new agency does. We basically are your entire marketing team. So it saves companies potentially tens, if not hundreds of thousands per month. And an advertising agency is someone that you might work on specific ad campaigns with. You might work on them with one specific Facebook ad or one specific Google campaign. You might make video edits for them for their social media, whatever it might be. It is helping them with specific adverts. That's what advertising agency is. Whereas marketing agency, because marketing is a much broader term, marketing can basically apply to any of the process to do with getting the customers, basically. It can even be to do with client acquisition in any form of advertising, working on your email, working on your funnel, any form of getting your customers for your business, that's marketing. So, now that's cleared up, the difference between what a lot of people don't realize they are versus what they're actually doing. So, the difference between, let's say, this pen is going to keep going on me, so I use the other one. I've got it ready, face down for me. So, the difference between freelance and an agency. So, this is the biggest misconception I've seen. Being in one of the biggest self-help spaces in a Discord server and seeing these questions asked so many times, and people thinking that they're an agency when they're actually a freelancer, or the other way around. So, a freelancer is yourself. If you basically sell anything to anybody and it's just you're a freelancer, right? I put freelancer. If you work with other people, third parties as it's referred to in the business world, corporate world, if you have a team that aren't official actual employees, they're not members of staff, they're contractors, they're third party companies or freelancers, then you run an agency. And the difference here is that freelancer is just you Like if you're not even like online money, but in terms of like you're a window cleaner, you're a plumber, you're an electrician, you are technically a freelancer by definition. But if you're an agency owner, then you promote your services, but you hire third-party contractors or other businesses that may be agencies themselves or other businesses that have staff to provide the service that you sell, basically, and that's ultimately what an agency is, and loads of people do that. So that's the distinction there. So freelancer is just you, basically, and then this is when it's you as the promoter. So it's your business, and then you have like third-party vendors. So you have like contractors, or you have, other, basically contractors can be in any form. I just put one arrow because it's easier to make sense of. But contractors in any form, it can be other agencies, it can be just other businesses that have members of staff, other freelancers, whatever it is. But ultimately, that's the biggest difference. I won't move too much. That's an agency versus just working for yourself. Now, whatever position you might be in now, whether you are freelancing, whether you work for somebody else, whether you have your own agency, whether you have members of staff, whether you, whatever position you might be in right now, I'm going to use one hypothetical scenario that is what I think most people, the position that most people that are a freelancer that might think they're an agency and they're trying to scale from wherever they were. And I'll give you my example even, but I will use a typical example of, let's say someone is providing, I'm going to use a random example. Let's say you do like general social media management, right? So you manage local businesses' social media profiles. So let's say you charge $500 a month to manage someone's social media full-time for them. So that's $500 per client, and let's say it takes you only like an hour per day per person, so you have maybe like 6 clients. So that is, that's 6 clients is $3K a month. So that is $3K a month for you as a freelancer, which is pretty good income. So let me make the 3 a bit more readable. So that's $3K a month, that's doing pretty good right there. So right now, this maybe takes you, let's say, 25 hours a week of work, and you're doing pretty good, to be honest. Most people, this is why having your own business can be really profitable. And there's many perks of, you being able to, if it's obviously the value provided and however long it takes you to provide that value. So obviously if you can help 6 clients a month and it only takes you 25 hours a week or 20 hours a week or less, then you're making a lot for your time. And that's some of the perks of running your own business, being your own boss. However, at the moment, it's just you. So you're kind of capped at this 3K. Now, sure, if you were to take on, let's say, another 4 clients and you can get to 10 clients, then, you would be, 5 times 10 is 5K, you'd be making 5K a month. And now maybe this has become a full-time job for you. So now maybe this is like a 32-hour-a-week job now, because 10 clients, it might be 6 to 8 hours a day of work, so it ends up being around like 32 hours. It becomes a full-time job, basically. But you've got 5K, which is a pretty above average income, especially in the UK. That's like 4-5, that's nearly like 3.5, 4K a month right there, or like 4.2K maybe pounds. And, it's probably average income depending on what state you live in the US. So that's a pretty good job, to be fair, but like I said, it's a good job. You basically own your job at this point. And this is the position that most freelancers are in, I believe, where they are in this position. And you're stuck working for yourself. Yes, you have a good income, but again, you've limited your time because again, you're working those 32 hours a week. You basically own your job. And if that's what you want to do, then fantastic, all the power to you. However, if you want to actually scale so that you can get more of your time back, earn more money, and not even necessarily grow a massive, massive company, but just be able to get your time back, be able to make more money, and be able to actually, have more time, location, and financial freedom. So let's say again, you've got to 5k a month, right? So if you're working, now you're maybe working 32 hours a week. So now you've got a pretty good job right here. So what do we do now? Well, potentially what we can do is we can start taking on clients at a lower margin, because we can now start hiring people. So now maybe what you can do is you can say that, okay, that $500 retainer, what you're going to do, $500 per client per month. So what you're going to do now is you're going to hire someone that does what you do, and they only charge maybe $300 a client, right? And especially, obviously, this is the massive perk of like a remote service-based business, is social media marketing, video editing, graphic design, copywriting. Loads of people around the world have these skills and want to provide these skills to first world countries in development, and countries like EU, US, countries in the European, in Europe, America, the UK. So they're happy to. They love earning $300 per client, because that's nearly like half a month's income, or maybe a month's income, depending on where you live in the world. Like certainly countries like Bangladesh, or in Asia, places like all the first world, third world and developing countries, $300, they only need 2 or 3 clients, and they're making sometimes more than their parents make. So this person, for instance, will charge, they'll charge you $300 per client as the freelancer right now, or maybe you've just started, maybe you were freelancing, now maybe you've made it a company, so it's a separate entity. Either way, you're doing the same work as you were doing. You had those 10 clients, now making 5k, 32 hours a week of work. So now what you can do is, there's obviously 2 options here. You know that you currently charge $500 a client, and you can hire somebody to do to manage what you were doing per client for $300. So what you could do now is you could give some of the clients you've been managing to that person, and obviously you're sacrificing 3/5 of the profit of the money you're making per client, but that's all that time back that you can now put into finding other clients and other contractors. So let's say you wanted to not sacrifice the hours you're working and not sacrifice that 5k and leave that as it is. But let's say you took on, actually I'll keep that as it is. Let's say you took on 2 new clients. So that's 2 new clients is 500 times 2, which equals, I'm just for the sake of it being like client, and then like client times 2. So now you've got 1k there. That's new revenue basically for the business. And now you have a contractor, and maybe they can handle up to 7 or 10 clients themselves, or 3 to 5, depending on case by case scenarios. So now let's say that 300, they're now going to charge you $600 because it's 2 new clients. So 600 is for 2 clients, and just basically doing maths here, because now if we bring these together, it's going to be 600. It's going to be 1,000 minus the 600, which gives you $400. Whether that's gross profit or net profit, I can get on into a second. So now you've started to grow the business. Now you're not just working for yourself. It's not just your clients. Now you have hired 2 new clients. You've hired a contractor. You've brought on 2 new clients, and now instead of making 1,000 from those clients, you've now started to basically create margins within your business. You've now hired your first contractor, maybe after a few interviews, however long it might have taken, and now you've got this $400 profit. But you're only maybe managing the relationship of these 2 new clients, as opposed to doing the entire service delivery, because you now have this client, you now have this contractor that's charging you $300 per client, maybe more, maybe less, but you're now making the margin, and now you have something that's scalable. So let me get rid of all this and show you like the scalability now, because I won't ramble too much about like the maths here in case it's confusing, but now you have begun scaling. So let's say you've got 2 new clients there, and let's say you're going to aim to get an extra, let's say you're going to aim for like 1 new client per week, 4 clients a month. So now if you're going to aim to get 4 a week, or 4 per month, if they are $500 each, then that's going to be an extra $2,000 for your business. And maybe your contractor, you've agreed that they can manage 5 clients themselves, so you've got 2 so far, so 3, 4, 5. Well, let's just say that you hire, we know the margins, so it doesn't actually matter, but let's say, hypothetically here, one contractor can manage 5 clients. So, one contractor, because this is kind of fairly realistic as well, equals 5 clients. And we know that that is based at, at $300 a client. Hopefully that is readable there as well, hopefully. So we know we know what's going on there. One contractor, $300 a client, they can manage up to 5. So now, if we're going to try and bring on 4 new clients a month, that's $2,000. But obviously we're not going to manage the service delivery ourselves, we're just going to manage the relationship. That only takes us like an hour a week, however long. So now, we can work out obviously 2,000 minus, well, it's 2K minus, and obviously if we're going to be charging, if the contractor is going to be charging us $300 per client, it's going to be 3, 6, 9, 12, that's 1,500. So 1.5K. And obviously, going into the nitpicky of this, you might make a deal with the contractor, but let's assume you don't. So obviously now you have $500. Let's just say it's not profit, but it's like gross profit after you've had those few clients going in, and you've got the contractor. So you basically can bring in an extra $500 a month, and with bringing in like a new contractor every month, 4 new clients a month, and you can start bringing in an extra $500 a month. Now, that 500 has just become the money that you get to make to basically manage these clients, because this is the profit, the difference you're making in the profits between the cost of managing them as the actual service delivery itself versus just you doing the job of managing them as a client and the relationship and building a relationship. So, hypothetically, you could keep building this. If you were bringing on an extra $500 a month, then, that's an extra 6K a year. Hypothetically, if you weren't even to grow that, like if you were to just grow it like that, that's an extra 6K a year, I think, isn't it? 5 times 10, time plus an extra 500, so yeah, that's an extra 6K a year. If all you did was bring on an extra an extra client a week, or an average of 4 a month, and like 0.7 to 1 contractor per month, but I won't make it complicated. So that's like a hypothetical thing you can do if you just wanted to grow that. But obviously, you might want to actually consider starting to get more of your time back. So obviously, you might give some of the clients you already had. Once you start making those extra few hundreds after 2 or 3 months, maybe you'll consider to, give a couple of the clients that you're managing in those 32 hours a week of working to some of the contractors, so you get some of your time back. So once you get to this stage, you have the choice of basically once you start getting your time back, you can start working on basically what to do with your time. And what you really want to figure out is how you're going to apply leverage. Because as you get more of your time back, especially if you start giving some of the clients that you were spending your time on to new contractors, then you'll start having your time back. And a big learning curve for anybody that is currently in a service-based business that's managing the clients yourself, managing like the actual service delivery. You have to, obviously if you want to do this, you have to basically work out how to convert your time into, I was doing this task and I was managing the service, and now I'm working on growing the business. So it's a whole new range of skills. You're no longer just video editing, no longer managing social media profiles or managing ads or copywriting, whatever it might be. Now your time is spent on things like hiring people, interviews is part of hiring, I'll put those two together. It might be to do with learning more about business and growing a business, learning more about contracts, just basically understanding everything to do with growing a business, so that you can bring on people, and you can bring on people that can also bring on more people, bringing on talent. But obviously, this is a long process, and even I'm still getting used to this. But generally, once you're at this stage, the biggest things that you obviously have to leverage are getting used to leveraging more of your time. And then in the business, once you get more of your time back, you'll put your time into various things which will get you more and more returns. So in the end, you'll be able to leverage your money for like getting clients. So if you end up getting to a point where you're at 1k a month profit, 5k a month profit, 20k a month profit, then you can start using your money, the profits in the business, to do ads and things, to go to maybe events or whatever it might be. Basically free marketing in a way, like you're using the profits to go to events to market the services you have, get new contractors, get new clients, and in the end, you can do all these various things that allow you to keep growing the business. So they're the two most important things, but obviously in the end, I'd say the biggest leverage towards the end is the brand itself, which is the business you've grown. And technically I could put, I will kind of put at the bottom, skills and talent, because obviously they're kind of one and the same here, that they are kind of the same boat. So I'll just put, I'll do that, because that's just hiring really talented people over time and finding people that are irreplaceable, basically. So you get more of your time back. You can put your time into higher ROI activities. So, basically more money for the business. Money, again, so you can invest in the business and, over time, you can properly grow the business, ads and stuff like that. So you can make sense of using the money you've made to make more money. Then you have the brand. So it's it's recognition at this point. It's connections, and it's people noticing the brand and you being able to leverage the brand to make new connections with other businesses and other people, and maybe do things like sponsorships, affiliate deals, whatever it might be, to do different ad placements, brand sponsorships. You're basically leveraging the brand as part of marketing as well to make money, because that would be a form of leveraging. If you're going to do sponsorships, you might leverage the brand and the money to pay for someone to sponsor the brand or whatever. So once you're at this point, obviously there's multiple levels here you're using at different times. You'll be using different levers to help grow the business. But coming back to wherever we are now, I'm obviously not at this point, otherwise I wouldn't be filming this in a conservatory. But for wherever you are now, let's see kind of the position you're in. So my position right now, I've just started a new agency, and that's what I'm working on. And I've basically been a glorified freelancer with a couple of friends for a while. But wherever you go from here is obviously completely up to you, but you really want to think about what next. So are you, if we go back to the beginning, are you that freelancer? Or do you already have an agency? Do you already have a few clients, a few contractors? What position are you in right now? Which boat are you in? And you want to really think about, what do you want to do next? And consider, do you want that freelance route where you're becoming your own boss, you have built your job, and you've basically got this nice full-time career. You've got control of your time, because obviously clients can come and go. You can get new clients on. You can you are your own boss in that sense, and it's fantastic. You've got all the perks of you can work when you want to work to an extent. Clients come and go, so you can hire new clients, take on others, do whatever you want to do in that sense, and you've got the freedom of that. Or you can grow an agency, you can hire new contractors, you can try and find the best people, you try and grow a business, try and get more clients, try and get your time back, try and use the money you've made from the business to invest in other areas, new teams, and grow from there. So those are your options really when it comes to basically choosing what you want next from your business. And this also applies to any business, to be honest, not just a service-based business, although it's most popular with a service-based business. But that's just some things to consider. What do you really want to be doing? Because it might seem cool to start an agency and grow it to 100k a month, a million, 10, 100, whatever it might be, right? It might be cool to see those numbers, but you want to work out what you really want to do and what your actual goal and sense of where you get your fulfillment from with it. So yeah, there's some things to consider. I'm going to stop this really long video, but thanks for watching my ramblings anyway, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.